Greetings and welcome to episode 103 of my Empire Total War Darth mod USA campaign. And this, my friends, we left it last time, and we had a terrific fight last time. We were assaulted by the Mokhals here, who have had Akvatuk under their control for many years. We had to send an army group here, led by General Roberts here. As you can see, a fine army and a fine general indeed. And also he is ably supported by General JP and also General John Zich as well. As you can see, we had a terrific fight, and they really did give us a stern test here, my friends. But we managed to repel them, but at great loss. I mean, look at the sheer number of losses we suffered here. It is staggering. It really is. We lost thousands of men here. We really did. Look at this. This army's been almost completely decimated here. But in taking and fighting this fight of Akvatuk, we have sent the Mokhals, I beg your pardon, on the back foot here, my friends. We have to move in quite aggressively here. As you can see, Akvatuk is open here for a taking, but as you can see, the resistance foreign occupation is going to be very high indeed. We've only just brought Newfoundland here under our control. Even then, we've had to exempt the region from tax to try and bring it under control. It should be fully under our control very soon here. Resistance for occupation is still 6, so it'll be 5 eventually. We have sort of brought it under control. We've left a very skeleton a garrison, shall we say, here. We're also putting 2 mounted tribal auxiliaries here. I believe they are earmarked for another army, but I'll have to confirm that with the council. We've also got the British here as well, who have been helping us. Oh, actually, look at that. We can get this up and running here as well. This water-powered cloth mill, 750 here, and additional town wealth here, which will do us excellently well here. We've opened the port here, which is bringing 2,100 into the trade route, which is excellent. We do have these imams here as well, but we need to push the Mokhals out here of North America and Canada, because they really have been a thorn in our side. We've been at war with them for many years, possibly even longer than we have with the Germans. So that is a sheer depth and breadth of the battle here with it. It's taking a considerable push to move them out of here, because they had a massive garrison here. They really did. I think we'll use General Roberts' army to we'll make sure we've got proper support here.
Yes, sir.
So we'll start moving these armies up. Gentlemen, thank you.
More, sir.
Now, can we indeed...
Yes.
We don't want to block the path here. We've got to keep the road open, but...
Ready. They're trapped.
Yeah, surrender it, sir. Will they surrender it? Will they? Yes, look at that. And look at this here. They've actually thrown themselves into the wilderness. They took a real beating, but they still got a huge amount of troops, but most of them are mob. So they are not the elite. This is probably the finest army they've got left, or the remnant of that army they've got left is here. So as you can imagine, my friends, we really do have a significant advantage here over the Mokhals, but we mustn't become complacent. That would not do us well here at all. So we're going to immediately begin replenishment and bringing in new recruits into this armies here, because they have fought valiantly here, but they're going to need refitting, retrofitting, as you can see, and it's going to cost us a good amount of gold, but they've earned that right, my friends. We've had to boot them out of Akvatuk. Is now under United States control here, and thus it shall remain. We may have to move and take and remove these forces here. Now, they could move into the Northwest Atlantic, but they're in the wilderness now, so they've got nowhere else to go. If they were to move anywhere else, I believe the British would probably stop them. Let's have a look how their agreement is with the British. Britain is very friendly. They've been a real staunch ally of ours. They really have. No, they're not at war. In fact, they've got trade with the Mokhals, but they have been a wonderful ally of ours. France are also an ally, but Spain hostile, Sweden hostile as well. We need to discuss, my friends, a number of issues with what is happening here. But as you can see, we finally brought the last remnants here of these lands under United States control that isn't controlled by the British. Now, we don't want to step on any British toes just yet, because as we know, that is a war we cannot fight at the moment The British outnumber us here significantly in Canada, but I'm not sure if their economy is suffering here. Whilst they have these excellent troops, as you can see, they're not in the best of shape, which means they're taking casualties, and we could even see a number of losses here. That is even then they're using militia. Now that does, and lots of militia here, that does possibly bode that the British don't, oh my goodness me, they do have the forces, I do beg your pardon, and the majority of their elite forces are here, in and around Niagara here. So we've got, oh good grief, that is a fine army. They've got Northumberland Grenadiers and Fusiliers in here as well. And they've got Hesse Castle Grenadiers as well. So this is nothing to be sniffed at all. So we have left a lot of our cities here with a full garrison, and with good reason. Too many times have we pulled out of cities only to find that the enemy or past friends have moved and taken advantage of this. We will not have the same disadvantage thrown at us again. The number of times that Williamsburg has been hit has been significant. The same goes for many of these regions here, but we have full control of South and North America, that both continents are under full US control here. Now the French do have these Dutch Guiana and French Guiana, which are absolute monstrous trade regions, they really are, but we're not sure what they're bringing in here. But we do have significant trade. Now Courland, possibly they're unfriendly, but could we maybe turn that to our advantage? Let's see if we can get a trade agreement with them. No, they're not moving towards us at all. Their allies are Russia, who we're at war with, and Germany, and Austria, so that's why. Now my friends, we've got that now, so we're going to stabilise the situation there, but of course, here is the main crux here of what our fight is, and this has proven to be a humongous fight. I mean, it has been breathtaking in its scope. Look at the sheer magnitude here of the forces arrayed against each other. It is vast. Now we're at peace with Russia, so we've stabilised here with Stockholm. We have some significant investment here, but we are raiding this trade line here of the Austrians. We have full control of the Baltic, which we definitely need to keep hold of here. As you can see, we've got a significant fleet here holding the main sort of bottleneck entrance here into the Baltic from the North Sea. Britain, of course, is a staunch ally of ours. It's being hit by Courland, but that's their problem to solve out. We're not going to be stepping in here. We're at peace with Courland, so we can't step in here. We do have this force, which is a significant force here in the English Channel. Now, this is twofold force. First of all, it's also, as you can see here, raiding one of the Austrian trade lines here. It really is pulling a lot of money out of that off the trade line. But secondly, it's keeping an eye on Spain. Now, here is the main question, my friends. A number of council members, a good portion of the council, have been advocating for a preemptive strike against Spain. A number of them are concerned at the sheer magnitude of Spain. Now, again, I'm going to hold my hands up here and say we whittled Spain down to a single region, and a number of the council, the majority of the council, are asking for us to remove them utterly, to destroy the Spanish and get rid of them once and for all. I didn't do that. I did not do that, my friends. That's entirely my fault, and now we see a completely resurgent Spain, who are incredibly strong. As you can see here, my friends, this is a strong Spanish army. I mean, look at this. I mean, they really have packed their armies out with a stupendous amount of forces. I mean, Paris is possibly could be impenetrable here if we were to strike against it. Now, a number of the council have been requesting that we have a preemptive strike. This is what I want to ask the council. Is that operation still viable? Is a preemptive strike against Spain still viable? Now, remember what we're up against. Look at the sheer magnitude of the forces arrayed against us. Look at the fight we have on our hands against Germany. Now, that is not to say we can't do this, because we do have the forces here, but remember, 95% of our forces are in Europe. We have forces elsewhere in the world, but 95% of all our military strength is in Europe because of the sheer the breadth and depth of the war with Germany has dragged a copious amount of our forces into Europe here, especially into the north. We have taken Berlin. That was one of our key objectives. That's the key objective the council was calling for. It was saying, Mala, you need to take Berlin. You need to strike not only a production economic strike, but also a morale strike against the Germans. We've taken it. It wasn't as difficult a take as we initially thought. They did actually see that they were overwhelmed in Berlin. They did draw a lot of their troops out. We are, and indeed we have, moved straight on to Dresden here, where the council has sort of called for us to almost establish this defensive line here, but also to put Prague under pressure as well, because if we've taken Dresden, our forces are only a short night march into Prague here. Remember, we're still at war with Austria. They have helped their German allies significantly here. They've actually become resurgent as well, the Austrians, so we have to be careful here that we don't stir a hornet's nest that we can't quite control. But as you can see here, the north here has become a morass. It really has become a real battlefield, a bog, dare we say. And look at this as well. We have an army group here, Spanish armies, only a stone's throw away here from the border in Rhineland, a stone's throw away from Hanover here. Now, if we just strike preemptively against the Spanish, we wouldn't probably be able to do it with the forces we've got here, unless we move these forces away from Berlin. But then again, look at the sheer scope here of the German forces here. They're quite obviously going to be looking at taking Gdansk or hitting Gdansk. They want to unhinge this northern redoubt here of Gdansk. That's why we have to pull in a huge number of forces here into Gdansk and try and hold it. As you can see, we've already battled them once here to hold Gdansk. We have thrown them back, but that doesn't mean they're not going to come again. They've already set themselves up for another attack. Dresden is under siege, but they aren't going to give that up without a fight. As you can see, we could probably take this off the bat, to be honest with you. But they've got well established defences. That's not going to break in a while yet. We've got 4 turns there, 4 years until we break that. Now we've taken Hanover, but Hanover is now surrounded. They've also moved within striking distance here of Denmark. We've got the French here. The French are toying with the idea of moving back into their homeland, their former homeland here, and doing something with it. They do have the forces to do that, but for some reason they're lacking the will, the scope, the daring to move in here and hit back against the Spanish. Now that's up to the French. As long as they leave us alone, we don't mind. Now, however, France, very friendly, plus 75, but that could turn on a dime. It really could. So we have to be careful. We've got allies here in Norway, but they've been hit pretty hard. Actually, no, they've got their trade ports open, which is good. That links with us immediately. We're helping the Norwegians here. We've also got here, my friends, as I said, Gdansk. We've also managed to sort of carve out a small enclave here in Königsberg, which was the initial landing point of this operation in Europe. We've also got, and the Germans are starting to move here. They're starting to sort of toy with the idea of moving against Warsaw. And why are these Austrian forces moving up to join their allies? Potentially to assault Warsaw. It is vital that Warsaw does not fall. We cannot underestimate the value of Warsaw to this entire campaign. It is the pivotal city, and that's why we've surrounded it with so many armies. We've got 2 army groups here defending it. We've got an additional force here, which we're trying to use to bait out these German forces in, if we can pull them into Lodz here. And we've also moved in this army as well to sort of counteract that, so we've got at least a good display of force here against the Germans. Now, if the Germans take this bait here, it will relieve the pressure that's building around Warsaw. We've also got a number of German armies being pulled in from the Russian areas of the German forces. Look at the Germans. They've got all of the Urals. They've got Astrakhan. We control the Don, and the Don is completely surrounded. It is completely surrounded. We do have Tataria here. We did have Tataria, I beg your pardon, but as you can see, we are completely surrounded. We've got nowhere else to go. This army here is by itself, or this army group, shall I say, is by itself. Now we do need to put this army here into full strength. We're missing 3 regiments here, but as you can see, they have made their intentions perfectly clear. Now most of this is militia. So, as the council has also said, there's a very good chance that the finer troops, that top level tier of troops that the Germans had at the start of this war, because of the sheer depth and breadth and the sheer losses that both sides have suffered, it looks like, because we've taken Berlin, we've started to whittle down their sort of production bases, their power bases, it looks like their ability to recruit the upper sort of echelon, the upper tier, the zenith of their troops has been diminished significantly, because now they're putting in conscripts, they're putting militia into their armies, as you can see here, and they're sort of dotting these armies with only a few line infantry. 12 pounders are still in, 3 pounders are still in use here. They've got some dragoons, but they're not really packing out the armies. As you can see, all militia, bar a few here where they're sort of stiffening the resolve of the militia with a few line regiments. Here the same again, and here I believe here indeed this is going to pack a little bit more punch. 2 12-pounders and 2 3-pounders. They've got a lot more regiment of horse, but no heavy cavalry. Majority of this is militia. So again, although it looks like a lot, the quality, the depth is not quite there. Again, they can outgun us here in terms of this, but that's not to be sniffed at. We've still got some wonderful troops here, but we are cut off. These forces here, we've got General Schwelby, we've got no general here at all. We've got General Jamie here as well. They're trapped. We cannot go anywhere. We could move through these regions here, but we've got Russia, who are not going to allow us to move through here unless we declare war. So this army here is trapped. Now, many of the council have been requesting and asking that we move troops up through here and try and reinforce here, try and break the siege here. Also, the council called for us to move an army into a fort, build a fort here, just outside Kayseri here, as a sort of a dual role. First is to give ourselves that sort of early warning system that's in place here. So we've sort of previously with the Ottomans threw everything they could at us here, and they threw a significant amount of troops against us to try and take Ankara. We held on by a hair's breadth. It really was that close. So they used these roads, this network here, this spider webs of roads here, leading from Syria all the way through into here, and they moved through Kayseri here, which is the main staging area, and attacked Ankara. So the council called for us to move forces into position so that we can have the early warning system, but also a force that would sort of weaken any initial strike against them. So they would have to tackle this force in a fort, in a secured position, and if they managed to get past this force, they would be weakened enough that this force, this army group that's here, would then be able to deal with it. So as you can see, we do have a significant forces here within Ankara. But we are trying to really get our production here. We've had to, unfortunately, our construction here of what we need in Ankara has fallen behind because of the magnitude of the battles we've suffered here. But again, we've managed then to bring the economy up here in this region up significantly. We do have naval hospital in Antalya here. Now Greece is at war with the Ottomans. We do have Patras under our control. That is a fine... We're trying to hold Patras here. We do have a fleet here as well. And the Ottomans really are hitting them pretty hard here. But again, that is not our way. We've also put a fleet here to prevent these forces from moving across. Because these are the forces that were attacking Ankara. Then the Ottomans requested a peace treaty, which we took. Those forces were then evacuated back to Istanbul. So my friends, that is pretty much where everything stands here at the moment. We're not at war with Russia, which is a good thing. We haven't... There are a number of council members requesting that we actually move in against the Mughal Empire here, and indeed Afghanistan. Now, whilst that is something we would absolutely love to do here, we don't have the forces to do that. We really don't. We've taken Ceylon as a forward staging area for future operations against the Mughals and Afghanistan. But look at the forces they've got for them. Even if the quality of these forces isn't anything to write home about, and even then they are some excellent troops here. The sheer scale, the magnitude of the forces there. Look, I mean, they even got 64 pounders in here. You know, the number of troops they got available to them, it would require at least a minimum of say 7 to 8 army groups to attack the Mughal Empire. It really would. To be able to wrestle these cities away from, particularly Satara here, it would require at least 7 army groups to utterly vanquish that, and the losses would be staggering to take this, and we are not prepared for that yet. We simply do not have the resources or the economy to sustain another war against an army that is a nation that is quite simply ready and waiting for us. They're dug in, even though they're not in the best of health. As you can see, some of these flags are ripped and torn. They've still got these armies here which are in full health. So again, we're not going to be doing anything silly here. In fact, what we could do is just explore a little bit here. What have they got in Hyderabad? Let's quickly see what they got in Hyderabad here. And again, look at this. I mean, even now they've got forces, you know, a huge amount of forces here. Oh my goodness me, that is quite scary. That is the garrison. They've got a 64 pounder as well, and 20. I mean, you know, we're looking at we'd have to bring in our finest army groups here, our most battle-hardened army groups to do this. Now we do have Ceylon, so we're going to start upgrading Ceylon, I think, as well, in preparation. Do we have the infrastructure? That's full agents here. We've got, I think we'll get an army board. We'll get an ordnance and an army board here. Let's prepare this island ready so that when we do begin that invasion, we've got Ceylon as well as our staging area and a production centre as well. Now, what do we have in here? We've got some excellent troops in here, led by General Mastrud. We've got a lot going from here. So we've got a trade with Persia. We've got nearly 6,000 going in here. Persia's got 13,000 coming in, and Courland is also an ally there of theirs. We're at war with the Mamluks as well. Excuse me, my friends. And actually the Mamluks have got Egypt. That is concerning, because that's only a strike across the Mediterranean Sea here. Peace with everybody else. And also, my friends, we did lunge quite deep into Austrian territory here, and that did bring about a really sharp response from the Austrians. In fact, it's reinvigorated the Austrians, re-energized the Austrians, in fact, because they've moved against us. They actually, as you can see, did a tremendous amount of damage to these forces, to the fact these armies are almost wiped out. We held on, but look at that, we held on by an absolute, by our fingertips. Now, we do have this force here, which was actually sent down here by accident. It actually managed, we did mean to send this force up to Gdansk, but because this path was blocked, it was actually going to go a long way around, and in fact found its way down here in Hungary. And to be honest with you, it was meant to be, because this army is probably going to give us control of Hungary. We've already been at war with we've already had a battle with Hungary here in the Austrians in Hungary, I beg your pardon, and we've also got the remnants here of this force here in Vienna. If we can drag them into a fight, there's every chance that we might actually be able to take Hungary and Vienna, and maybe even link up. If these forces can break Dresden and take Prague, we might be able to link up here in Vienna with the forces here. But again, that's a long way off. We've got a huge amount to do here. I mean, look at the German forces. They've got a raid here. It is staggering. Actually, the majority of their finest units are actually in the west here fighting. And they do have these forces here. We believe they might be moving towards trying to push in against Denmark. I've got these forces here. We've got another general here. But if we move this force into here, it will trigger a battle. We're not ready for that just yet. Now, are these forces? Yeah, they are being replenished and repaired, which is excellent.
Yes.
We've got General Fischer here as well, who again, his army's being replenished and repaired. I think we need to have Denmark as recruiting more men. That's excellent. We're going to continue that recruitment drive. Got cuirassiers. But Spain does concern me, and I know it concerns the council as well. So if we decide, if the council decides for that preemptive strike against Spain, we're going to need a definitive plan from the council. If you decide, my friends, that this is the way to go to preemptive strike against Spain, we're going to have to see, the council really is going to have to come up with some exceptional plans here, because, what forces do we draw away from the north here? Do we move against the Spanish through Hanover into Rhineland, across the borders? Do we launch an attack via sea and aim straight for Paris? Do we hit them with a two-pronged assault through here and draw their forces away into here? Or do we strike them at the same time here? It's a huge amount to consider. We might even be able to go for Madrid itself, but I would imagine Madrid is heavily defended. As you can see down here, oh my goodness me, that is an army and a half there. Yeah, I mean, good grief. They really do have absolutely everything. But as you can see, we've got these forces moving in. So as you can see here, I should almost forgotten about these. We do have this Austrian force here, which is stopping us from moving out. Look at the armies we've got here. The council has sort of requested that we move these forces into here and potentially strike against Bosnia, and also reinforce the forces here in the Don. Now the Don has played a significant part here, so most of these forces will be earmarked for an attack in the Don, but to do that we've got to be able to move our forces out here. We've already brought these gentlemen here. We control the Gibraltar Straits, as you can see. Look at that. Now we're going to have to deal. We also brought this under control here. France is really hitting Spain pretty hard here. Look at the Mughal Empire is bringing in from here. 16,000. So we've got these forces here loitering. And you can see we've got agents on board. Another agent on board here. We're bringing the entire apparatus here of our intelligence organisation. We're bringing in some really strong armies here, as you can see. All of these armies ready to fight. But of course they can't move. They can't move against us here. Got to be very careful here, very, very careful indeed. Because this Austrian fleet here is blocking us from moving into the Mediterranean. I think what we are going to do is we're going to begin. Now they have got this here. This army here has moved in against our naval hospital here. But we do have a naval hospital here in Omir. Do we have another naval hospital? Oh, there it is. In Lubeck. So I think what we will do is we'll have more heavy first rates. We're going to build another fleet here which is going to move into the Mediterranean. We're going to clear the Mediterranean of all our foes. We have to be very, very careful here. We don't lose these armies to these fleets moving in. And to that end, I think what we will do is we'll just move this gentleman here, so that he takes the brunt of anything coming our way here. And I'll also move this force here as well. Let's bring these in closer so they are completely covered. And we are bringing in a significant amount of forces into here. Now we do have. Now Iceland has been. We're at peace with Sweden, but again, if they step over the mark, we will have to slow them down here. But my friends, that is pretty much where we stand at the moment. We have a huge amount still to do. Oh, Sweden here. Ah, yes, look at that. Now these gentlemen will be ready very soon, and we'll be moving these gentlemen ready here. We've been moving forces across the Baltic here from Sweden, Stockholm to Königsberg here to try and reinforce and make sure that we don't lose Königsberg, because Königsberg really is an important city for us. Very important indeed. Can we get some more line infantry here? I believe we can. We've got 69,000 coming in. Look at that. We've almost covered the tax income here. Is almost covering the army upkeep. 76,000 from trade, but again, our tax income is booming here, which is fantastic to see. It really is. Now they're hitting these here. We're just going to allow this to happen because there's nothing we can do about this. Hopefully we can draw them into a fight, but let's end. We've got all research here. We've researched every possible Magdeburg. So it's pointing to right, let's end this turn, my friends. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what Britain does as well. Britain is, shall we say, it's in Berlin, so we've got a place there in Berlin. Okay, so that's where that Magdeburg is. We're going to dismantle that, and we're going to bring that into an economics state. Austria, what will Austria do? They've become resurgent here, Austria. We've got to do something about this. I'm actually moving away here. Will they support their allies? Will they move in against us? Indeed they will, sir. Ho, 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 ho. I mean, that is a monstrous... Oh my goodness me. Where the blazes did they get these? Look at that. That is an army and a half. Grenadiers, Marines. I mean, that is an exceptional army. I mean, no matter what you say, that is an exceptional army here. Now, we have got these gentlemen moving in here, but we are nowhere near ready to take this fight here. Now, we need guns coming in, so we can let these guns come in here. Then we're going to need infantry, because this is going to be an exceptionally tough, because they got nearly 2,500 reinforcements. So we've got to be able to really do as much damage as we can here. We've got to get these forces in. We've got to make them, we've got to basically make the use of all the forces we've got available to us. Right, that's ready. This army here coming in, we'll have some cavalry coming in because that will really be a huge boon to us. We're going to need cavalry for definite here. Artillery, is that going to really be useful for us at the moment? Not really, is it? We'll get these gentlemen in here. Mind you, they are very, very experienced. And last but not least, I mean, is it going to make much difference if these gentlemen come in? It's not, is it? Let's be honest. That's the best we can do. We're going to have to take this fight. This is, I mean, look at that force they've brought in here. How have they managed this? But we cannot cry over spilt milk, my friends. Mind you, some of these forces aren't in the best of nick here either. Neither are some of these. These have taken some beatings here. We're going to have to set ourselves up very well here in this defence. We do have a line infantry guard. We do have a Republican guard. Let's take this fight, my friends. This, I believe, is the 4th or 5th fight for Hungary. It is a huge fight. This will possibly define the fight for Hungary. We might have to pull out of here. We might have to pull out of Hungary here in Austria because they are throwing everything they can at us here to try and remove us from here. If we hadn't had this army in here at this time, then we would be in even worse. We'd be in real dire straits. Now, let's have a look what we've got available here. Oh, we haven't got any cannon. If we had cannon, we would stand an even better chance. But again, we're going to have to make use of everything. This is the topography here of this. We do have a huge deployment zone. I mean, that is massive. Absolutely massive deployment zone. Now, if I'm not mistaken, is that an L-shaped deployment zone? It is indeed. It is indeed. So it ends here on this cluster of trees here. But we need to use the topography of this field of battle here to our advantage. I think we'll definitely use the trees. We've also got these high... We need to have the sort of the advantage, the element of surprise here in terms of us using these slopes to our advantage here, to have the high ground. Mind you, this here is going to pose a problem. I think what we will do is we'll set ourselves up here, and we'll use this as well to hold on. Right, first things first, let's get the 18th foot line infantry. Actually, no, I think we'll have the 5th foot Republican Guard here, right in the vanguard of the defence here. We've got to stand here and hold. It's as simple as that. Look at that. I mean, that is a joy to see. We'll have the 4th foot here. Where are the reinforcements going to be coming from? That's the key question. We are definitely going to have to keep some men back here to be able to guard against any reinforcements. And they got 2,500 men in reserve coming in straight away. So this battle is not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. 18th foot line infantry guard. Let's put these gentlemen here. Look at that. I mean, that is a joy. It really, look at that. What a wonderful sight. Look at the uniform on there. Absolutely exemplary, sir. Now, gentlemen. Thank you. Now, we do have some experienced troops here. We do need to keep, I think we'll have the irregular long riflemen out in the vanguard, out here, I think, for the moment. We'll just put them there for the moment. We've got militia, but the militia have fought with great bravery. We mustn't look down upon them at all. They really have fought very well here with us. They have gained the respect of the professional troops here. Look at that. Regiment of foot here. We've got, luckily we have got cavalry. We're going to keep them in reserve. Actually keep them in reserve back here. Or on the flanks. Probably on the flanks would be better. Now we've got the General. General Friedland. We've got to really keep things compact. We've got more light infantry. We're going to put them there. Put this light infantry regiment here on the left. And we'll also put this light infantry here on the right. Again, we're looking to have that a fairly compact, but also we have to hold some men in reserve. We've got to hold men in reserve here. Put this regiment, I think, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's an experienced regiment on the extremities of the right here. We are up against the elite forces of the Austrians. Be under no illusions, my friends, of what we're up against. They are throwing the finest troops they have available to them into this fight. We've got long riflemen here, we've got militia. What have we got left at our disposal here? Let's have a look. Let's bring them into what we've got available. We do still have a significant number of troops here available to us. I think we'll pull some of these into reserve, but again, we'll pull this regiment into reserve here on the right flank. This regiment as well. Well, we might have regiments coming in behind us here. Knowing our luck, it probably will be coming in directly behind us. Gentlemen, look sharp, sir. Thank you. We want them to immediately be ready to go into battle here in the proper lines. The militia, I think we'll have here. These will be ready to counter-charge. We'll have 2 regiments. These 2 regiments will be on the left. Now, we don't have cannon coming in directly against us. We might even set one. We'll set the line riflemen here in this outcrop. We have the colonial line infantry in this outcrop here. We'll put them on skirmish mode so they fire and move. We've got these 2 regiments here as well. We've got to be wary here. I think we'll put another regiment here on the right. Gentlemen, look, gentlemen, please remember who you are. You're men of the United States Army. And I think we'll just put this regiment here on the extreme left, just to make sure we've got everything covered here. Now that is a fine defensive line with a good amount of reinforcements. We can adapt and change as the battlefield opens up. Now, let's begin, my friends. Ah, look at that. They are sort of right heavy. We've got reinforcements. Gentlemen, dozer. So, what we're going to do is immediately move these gentlemen into here. Let's shift these to this flank here, just as a precaution. Look at that, they really are absolutely everywhere. Well, let's get these cavalry ready here. Now they're moving these, oh, they got cuirassiers, of course. We're going to move a regiment here just to protect our immediate extreme left flank. We've still got reinforcements. We're not going to panic here. We're not going to be pushed into... Square, gentlemen, square. We know the reinforcements are going to come in from here. Square, gentlemen, square, lads. You ready? Prepare, lads. Here they come, here they come. Square! Square, lads, square! Well done, lads, well done. They've done their job. They've done their job magnificently here. Got to watch this flank here because it's going to be absolutely torn to shreds here. We're actually going to flank them. They've gone. Move! It's going to be really tough here because they're going to hit us pretty hard here. We need to blunt that attack. Come on, lads, get in there. got to blunt this attack here. Get into those Swiss Grenadiers, lads. Get into them. Actually, let's try and... But I'll be damned, here come the reinforcements. Don't tell me they're going to block. Don't you dare block the reinforcements coming in here. And the... If we had more, if we had artillery support here, this would be... Let's get in there. Come on, put an end to these lads. Yes. Oh, the line, they've gone. Nope. My goodness me, we're absolutely taking a pounding here. They've got reinforcements coming in behind us as well. This is going to be exceptionally tough here to hold. My goodness me, we've been absolutely ambushed here. Get out of that square. We've just been absolutely crushed in here. I'll try and hold this flank here if possible. Look how well these militia have held up. They've held up magnificently well here. We've got to get them up here. We've got to get these forces ready to meet this next incoming charge because it's going to be brutal for us. Need to get General Mendoza out of here. Well done, sir. My goodness me, they've overwhelmed us here with the sheer depth of the forces they got available. Excuse the noise in the background, my friends. You can probably guess whom that might be. Oh, well done, sir. Oh, look at all these forces here. Come on, that's far. Double time. That's it, lads, well done. Now let's give them hell, lads, let's give them hell. Double time, that's double time. Oh, well done, sir. We've got to pull every single man into this fight here. There can be no exceptions. Now we've got the gun, we've got the artillery support. Come on, lads, give us that fire support here. That's right, give them hell, lads. Let's get him into action. Oh, well done, lads. Fire! My goodness, what a fight this has turned into. They've run, they've broken. Have at you, sir. Have at you. Oh, look at that. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. Let's send them to where they belong, sir. Oh, that is a wonderful sight there. Look at that, sir. Let's move them in. Straighten your lines, lads, straighten your lines. Let's get the general back. If they want to fight, then we'll oblige. Look at this. This is oh my goodness me. As soon as that fire support comes on tap, we have absolutely changed the course of this battle here. Oh, look at that. That is an absolute joy to see. Oh, they've got a lot of forces coming in here. Off the line. We've got it. Oh, that's a fantastic shot there. Wonderful, look at that, what a shot. Get into the lads, get behind those lines. Oh my goodness me, got another lot, yes indeed. We are not going to be able to hold these lines for much longer. They've come back, good to see. I beg your pardon, my friends, for the continual clicking. I know that some of you really are, and you know, try and keep that down to a minimum. Oh, they've got just a stupendous amount of forces coming off the line here, a ridiculous amount. Got to try and clear up as much as we can here. We've just got to clear up as much as we can. Break these fiends here. Break them, lads. We've got to clear as much of these as we can here. My word, what a fight this has been. This has been ridiculous. A ridiculous fight here. Let's clear up, clear them up, clear them up. Come on, we've got to take as many as we can with us. If we can shatter this army, we'll set ourselves in at least a decent state here. Oh, what a shot that was. For goodness sake, gentlemen, get back in line here. Put these Swiss guards to the sword. They've broken, they've had enough, but still, we still move on, lads. Charge! Look at this fight. What an exemplary defence here by these gentlemen. They have not buckled at all, even under the fiercest of pressure. Additional forces coming in now. Let's do what we can. No, there's not a chance we've done this. Surely not, sir. More forces coming in. These 18 men. Brave to a man here, sir. Well done, lads. They've broken. Oh my word, what? Oh, double time, gentlemen. Double time, if you would be so kind, sir. That's more like it, that's more like it. Go on, chase them down, lads. Get in there, chase them down. What a fight this has been. What a fight. Have we the blazes. Have we held out against two elite Austrian armies here? Get in there, lads. Turn around, lads. 29 men are going to move in here. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Wow, we actually did it. We actually held out against that force. They lost 5,000. That's all they got left. We lost 3,000 of that. Statistics here. Look at that line infantry. Look at the line. Look at these line infantry guards. They destroyed an entire regiment. Wow! Look at the experience here. What a fight that was. My word, that was exceptional. Whoa, 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 goodness me. No, we're not going to intercept there. Not a chance. Oh, they really want to try and take this here, don't they? My goodness me, that was a staggering fight. France, what will France do? Ah, looks like they're moving against Spain here, which could do us a real service there. Looks like they started to gather around Warsaw here. This is the main threat here. Again, will they try and break in through Denmark here? That is a significant force. And so is, oh my goodness me, that is the forces the Germans have available still, even after this, the brutality of this conflict. They're definitely looking to take Gdansk. That is without a shadow of a doubt, their main prize. Don't even think about it, Germany. Don't even think about it. And they're still using those Russian lands to be able to move over against us here. That's something we're not going to tolerate. They're definitely aiming towards Gdansk, or they're going to move potentially to counterattack against Berlin. Oh, there it is. There it is. We cannot take this fight. This army is not ready for this fight at all. And look what they're bringing. They're bringing a significant amount of troops here. 12, nearly 13,000. We've got the forces here, but these forces will not survive the initial assault. That's more like it. That is more like it, my friends. Now they've not only reduced the numbers here, but we've also been able, that is on parity. So we can now take this fight. We've got an excellent army here, a wonderful army here, ready to take that fight. But this, my friends, will be for next episode. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode, my friends. We are going to have a number of years now of significant battles underway. Gdansk is quite clearly a prime target here for the Germans. We've taken Berlin. We're going to try and reinforce that. We're going to try and move some army groups away from Berlin that are currently defending it to help ease the situation elsewhere. But Gdansk is going to be a massive, massive battle point, a focal point for many of our battles. We're going to transfer some of our forces from Stockholm over to Gdansk here, or even to Königsberg, and then from Königsberg to Gdansk. But let me know, my friends, what we should do here. Let me know what your thoughts are on Spain. Do we, because of the sheer magnitude of the fight we've got with Germany here, do we focus on Spain at all, or do we keep all our forces? Remember, they are very hostile towards Spain. There is a chance that Spain might even preempt us. They might attack us before we have the ability to attack them. So keep that in mind, my friends. But again, I shall leave that to the council. Whatever the council decides to do, not just with Spain, but with the rest of this campaign here, that is your wishes, and your sort of proposals will be fully implemented. Never forget that, my friends. But as always, if you've enjoyed this episode, my friends, please keep your comments coming down below. Get your comments coming down below. Doesn't matter how small, how large, whether you've got any combat experience at all, whether you're one of the most experienced council members. Get those comments coming down below, my friends, because every single proposal, every plan will count. Because we are really up against it. Even though we've got a massive amount of forces in here, so do the Germans, so do the Spanish, so do the Austrians. We are up against it, my friends, like never before. But my friends, this battle will be next time. Can we finally rid and give ourselves some breathing space here? Potentially we can. But until next time, my friends, bye for now.